I'm David Miller for WETS-FM here in Johnson City, and we are talking to Stephanie McGarrah, and she is the Deputy Secretary for Community Revitalization in North Carolina. That's a part of the Department of Commerce in that state. Stephanie, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
We are going to be talking about Renew NC, Renew North Carolina. It's a single-family housing program, and we're going to talk about how it works and how those that may still be impacted by Hurricane Helene can access the program. First of all, if you will, Stephanie, give us an overview of Renew North Carolina.
Sure. Renew North Carolina is a program that we launched after, or soon to receive funds from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, and it's administered through our North Carolina Department of Commerce. The program's meant to help eligible homeowners help with repair, reconstruction, mobile home replacement, or even reimbursement for work already completed using state-managed contractors. And these were homeowners who had damage or destruction as a result of Hurricane Helene.
Are we looking at a total rebuild?
So it really depends on the home in terms of whether or not it undergoes repairs or full reconstruction. Mm-hmm. Different people experience different loss as a result of the hurricane. But the homeowners must live in an eligible Western North Carolina county or zip code. They have owned or lived in their home as their primary residence at the time of the storm. They still own the home and agree to live there for at least 3 more years, and they meet the income eligibility. So this program, which is sponsored by HUD, prioritizes those with the greatest need. So sometimes it'll be repair, sometimes it could be full reconstruction.
You're also looking at homes where maybe a child is living or homes with someone over the age of 62.
That's right. So we have assigned a priority categories, and that's really, again, based on HUD rules, and they're quite complicated, but we have case managers who help people figure out their income and what documentation they need to qualify for the program, and then we prioritize those people based on their income. So if you're below 60% of the area median income, you have households with seniors ages 62 and older, or households with children under the age of 18, or households with individuals with disabilities, they're going to be a higher priority. We're trying to get those folks back home in safe housing. But we will work through all the applications, and we will fund as many houses as we have the money to fund. We have, as a state, set aside $807 million to run this program out of our total award of $1.4 billion. And then we have other funds that are going towards helping communities rebuild downtowns, infrastructure, things like that.
The state of North Carolina has been very, very generous in allocating money for a lot of different needs via Helene, with 4 different bills that have been passed there. But are we looking at a percentage of saying, well, here's where the cutoff is?
Yeah, we don't. You mean in terms of how many people will be able to help, or in terms of the application cutoff period? Yeah, we're accepting applications for the single-family housing program through December 31st, 2025. And the state has been very generous. While we don't have our federal funding yet, the State General Assembly did pass a bill that allows us to get started on single-family housing because they've appropriated $120 million to the housing. So we're actually the fastest CDBG disaster recovery grantee in history to launch our single-family housing recovery program, and that we launched it just 8.5 months after the federal disaster declaration. So we definitely feel that sense of urgency to get families back in their homes quickly. And we'll fund as many as we can. It's really hard to put a true number on how many homes we'll be able to repair or replace because, as you can imagine, full reconstruction is more expensive than repairs, and it really just depends on what each individual's situation is. So we have already opened our applications, and we would love for people who are eligible, who think they're eligible, to apply. They can visit renewnc.org. They can call our 1-800 number, which is 888-791-0207, and they can also visit our office locations in Asheville, Boone, and Marion, and and it's www.renewnc.org, O-R-G.
29 counties will be eligible. Were those selected because they were hit the hardest by the storm?
Yes, that's exactly how they were selected. So the federal government selected some, and then the state also looked at where we also saw losses and selected those. And typically the federal government makes their decision based on where they got FEMA individual assistance applications from and the Small Business Administration when people applied for those loans.
Helene is with us, and it's a long-term process to try to get everything set back the way it was. Unfortunately, there will be more storms in the future, so hopefully not this bad, but we know it is inevitable. We just take one day at a time. Is that right?
That is correct, and I appreciate you pointing that out. It will be a long-term recovery. We're moving as quickly as we can. You know, the system that's really in place to help fund the recovery can be confusing for people. It's a patchwork of funds from different federal and state agencies. So we really do encourage you to reach out, and we'll do our best to help you and make it as clear as we can so that we can get people back on their feet.
Stephanie McGarrah with the Department of Commerce in the state of North Carolina, the Deputy Secretary for Community Revitalization in North Carolina, our special guest. Stephanie, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm David Miller, WETS FM.